All right, I'm going to walk through really quick how to cite your sources correctly using the correct punctuation. I know that I don't bother with the spelling and the grammar. That's spell checks thing. I'm not going to deal with that, but I do care greatly about the punctuation in citations, because when you're citing someone else's work, you have to cite it correctly. Otherwise, it's plagiarism, and plagiarism in this class is unethical, and we really want to avoid unethical behaviors in our composition, right? Again, unethical behaviors, unethical behaviors is, within plagiarism, whether it's, incorrect citations, using Grammarly or AI to write your work, using someone else's work, or being too vague and questionable with your work. Okay, so anyway, those are unethical behaviors. So I want to try and nip it in the bud as best I can. I'm gonna try and give it to you as quick as I can. Below me, you are gonna see a little bit of a walkthrough, and that's my goal. This is just me to guide you through, to help you. First and foremost, you need to have the page numbers correct. It has to be correct. Do I check? Yes, I do. It is one of those things that I can do really quick, and I will call you out on it. So just keep that in mind. Every semester it happens. Students just kind of guess, and that is not correct. Don't guess on page numbers. You need to find the quote in the work, right? If you're using a quote but giving me the wrong page number, I'm going to ask you some questions, because I'm going to ask you, where'd you find that? That's very strange, because it is not accurate, and it is unethical to lie on your paper. You see what I'm saying here? So in other words, don't just guess on page numbers. You need to tell me what it is. Okay, that being the case, in the few works that we have, you will notice that the first few are actually going to have page numbers to them. Please use page numbers. If for some reason the work, which is going to be maybe an online article, we get to a few of those later, they won't have page numbers, you don't have to worry about it. Okay. The two things that you need in citing sources for now, all you need is the author and the page number. That's it. Super simple. If you are using the author to be in the sentence, which I'm going to little caveat here, anytime you introduce an author for the first time, you always use their first and last name in the sentence. You always want to introduce the author because you want to give authority to who the person is. When I talk about signal phrases are that first part of a sentence that introduces the quote in some way, whether it's the article or the article and the author of the article. All right, so make sure that you are including the first and last name of the author in the sentence, in the full sentence, if you're introducing the author for the first time. Okay, so if you're using the author in the sentence, you only need a page number at the end. If you don't have a page number, don't have to worry about it. I just need to know where you got the information, and always use direct quotes. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a reminder about quotes in just a second, but we'll get there. Okay, so if you're writing the sentence, even though you're introducing it, you're using a signal phrase, and you don't use the author in the sentence, you gotta use them at the end using parentheses, okay? Again, if you use them at the end with parentheses, you only need last name, page number, nothing else. No commas, nothing special. Okay, within the parentheses, it's just the last name and page number. If the page number exists, please don't make something up. And don't worry about using paragraphs. You don't need to put anything else. Last name of the author and page number is all you need in the parentheses at the end. Okay, now I want you to take a look down below me, because I really need you to pay attention to where the period lands. The period is at the end of a sentence. That means it needs to go at the back end of the parentheses. Got a little parentheses, got to put a little period right there. Because what happens is, if you put the period at the end of the quote right here, what ends up happening is this parentheses, this little, whether you got, the author's last name and page number, that goes into the next sentence. That doesn't make any sense. You got to stop the bleeding, right? That's where you put the period right there. Here we go. All the writing period goes right here. Okay. Look below. Take a look below at where you see the periods in the citation. Okay, I really want you to have a vision, because that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so just be mindful of where the punctuation is. So you have your signal phrase, your open quote. You have your a direct quote, exactly what was said. You have your end quote, right? Then you have your closed parentheses, last name of the author, page number, and then you've got your close parentheses, and the period goes right there. You can see it all below me, but I'm hoping with my hands helps you a little bit, okay? Please be mindful because I will be looking for this as we move forward. I try and make it simple. It's not too terribly hard. So if it helps you visually or the way I'm acting it out, that should help. Again, when we do quotes, quotes are for direct quotes. And also we would use direct quotes if we're trying to, say like an article title is going to have double quotes. Okay, below me, you're going to see a few things about italicized, like italics, when it tilts, and quotes and things like that. The reason why I'm putting that there is we're going to work more on MLA as we move forward. I'll probably give you a little bit more on that, but I want you to be mindful that I'm going to keep it super, super simple. If it's anything that's inside of something bigger, it's in quotes. That means if it's the name of a chapter inside of a book, all right, name of a chapter inside of a book, the book is italicized because it's the main thing that's holding in the chapter. So, or an article in a journal, in a scholarly journal, that's going to be quotes. Anything inside of something bigger is going to have the quotes. If it's the big thing, another thing that would have quotes would be the name of like a YouTube video, okay? YouTube itself is going to be in italics because that's where it's all held, but the title of the YouTube video is going to be in quotes. I hope this is kind of helping you a little bit. I forget that I do MLA formatting all the time, and so it might be a little new for some of you, so you can always rewind this video and go back. So I just want you to be mindful of that. What else? I'm checking to see what else I have. It's pretty much it. So take a look at some of the little things I have down below just to help you out. But the main thing, you gotta have the correct page number. I will call you out. You'll probably get a 0 until it gets fixed. And if it gets 0 after the turn-in date, it can't resubmit. That's the other thing. Please make sure you can always resubmit your work up until the deadline. Like when it says, nope, can't, don't turn it in after the deadline unless you want it to have late work charges on it. I don't account, like say you turn in something a week early and then turn in something late, I have to go by the thing that came in last. Okay. So please keep in mind, because that's technically your publishing date, right? You always go by the most recent thing that was turned in, and when you do works cited and all that stuff. Anyway, make sure you be mindful of that. And that I think is pretty much it. So again, take a look downstairs, see what's going on. I think that's pretty much it, y'all. I'm very proud of you. I know it's not easy. You're going to be using this a lot. And in fact, next week, it's going to be the same thing, same example, except a different last name. All you need is an introductory phrase, exact quotes, after that parentheses of your author, last name, and page number, if there is one, and a period. Keep it short, sweet, and simple. Keep it accurate, and keep doing a great job. Very excited. Thank you.